Part 103. Doomsday Special Forces. Author, Huanjing Chengzhu. Chapter 1021. Dong Huangtai pretended to be nonchalant as he took the Xianyuan sword. After a brief sense, he found that his hands and feet were still there. He was completely relieved. However, he did not take action immediately. Instead, he stroked the Xianyuan sword with his hands for a while. After 2 minutes, a wave of life energy suddenly erupted from Dong Huangtai's body. Wang Feng was startled, but then he sensed that the connection between Xianyuan sword and himself was not affected at all, so he did not take any action. Seeing that Wang Feng did not move, Fuxi, Duanlei, and others continued to wait and see, but the energy fluctuations on Dong Huangtai's body quickly disappeared. Then, he frowned and looked at the people around him. No. There are too many people here. I want to strengthen the tolerance of Xianyuan space for human life forms. You are all human beings. The energy fluctuations on your body will affect the process of strengthening Xianyuan space. Therefore, when I strengthen Xianyuan space, there can be no human beings around, except the owner of Xianyuan sword. Hearing Dong Huangtai's words, Duanlei and others all hesitated for a moment, because this meant that they all had to leave, and Dong Huangtai would be alone with Wang Feng, which seemed to be the request made by Dong Huangtai when he sent an envoy. Is this guy really plotting something? I should be able to do it, right? Xiao Wu asked beside him. Dong Huangtai looked at Xiao Wu, then sensed the life fluctuations in his body, and then shook his head. No. Although you have become a zombie, you are still transformed from a human, so you have to leave as well. Duanlei looked at Wang Feng, then at Fuxi, not knowing how to decide. Dong Huangtai did not urge him, but closed his eyes and rested his mind. Anyway, he had said it before. If he wanted to pass through the endless tower smoothly, he must first settle those ordinary people and not let them become the enemy's breakthrough. And before entering the endless road, it was impossible for Wang Feng and his men to kill these people, so reinforcing Xianyuan space became the only option. And the excuse he found before was also perfect. Since he wanted to strengthen the tolerance of Xianyuan space for human life forms, then the life energy fluctuations in the human body would affect his reinforcement process, which made perfect sense. And of course, all of Wang Feng and his people are human, so in the end, there will be only himself and Wang Feng left, and then it will be the best time for him to take back the Xianyuan sword. In fact, the Xianyuan sword was originally a reward for reaching the top of the endless tower. In the first endless road, the human race actually reached the top, and the Xianyuan sword was one of the rewards they got that time, but that was a long time ago. The generation of human race that reached the top of the endless tower has long disappeared, and the Xianyuan sword is the only inheritance they left to their descendants. However, in order to prevent other races from noticing the existence of the Xianyuan sword and causing trouble for their descendants, the ancient human race set a seal on the Xianyuan sword when they left it. If you want to completely remove the seal in the Xianyuan sword, you must be in the outside world, and this secret of the human race is only known by the great prophets of all generations. After all, in the minds of those ancient humans, the Xianyuan sword was only left to them so that they could use it when the endless road began next time. Normally, it would be better for them to rely on their own abilities, otherwise, the human race would rely too much on the artifact, which would be detrimental to the development of the race. But when it came to the great prophet of this generation, Dong Huangtai, he also learned the secrets of the endless road from the previous great prophet, and also knew the rewards that could be obtained when reaching the top of the endless road. At first, Dong Huangtai had no other ideas. He still buried the secret that only the great prophet could know deeply in his heart, as if nothing had happened. He used his ability as a great prophet to protect the human race with the 3 emperors of the human race. However, after an event that was enough to change human history, Dong Huangtai had a change of mind for some special reasons, and began to yearn to reach the top of the endless tower, and regarded this as his lifelong goal. So, from that time on, Dong Huang Tai began to lay out. He used his ability to predict the future, and then used one of his soul clones to enter the Xianyuan sword, and let the three emperors of the human race take this artifact of the human race and leave the original star to the outside world to unlock the seal of the Xianyuan sword. In fact, the change of Dong Huang Tai's thinking was due to the split of the soul, but this was Dong Huang Tai's biggest secret, so no one knew it. Even Fuxi, who was closest to Dong Huang Tai before, only felt that Dong Huang Tai had changed, but did not think of the real reason. Moreover, this was because Dong Huang Tai reminded Fuxi before predicting that he would change, so Fuxi was able to feel Dong Huang Tai's change so keenly. And now, seeing that his layout for many years is about to bear fruit, Dong Huang Tai also has to do his best to control his emotions and not be discovered by Wang Feng and others. Wang Feng looked at Duan Lei and Fu 11. He was not sure whether he should agree to Dong Huang Tai. Although with his strength, he did not need to be afraid of Dong Huang Tai, but due to the previous reminder from instructor Li Yingning, he had to be careful. Now the Xianyuan sword is the most important thing to Wang Feng. Not to mention anything else, the huge amount of life energy stored in it is what they rely on to conquer the endless road. If they lose this life energy, their universe will be destroyed. I am afraid that the battleship will not be able to go into battle due to energy problems before long. Just when Wang Feng and the others were hesitating, number 7 looked a little strange at the side, his face flickering. But his eyes immediately became firm. He stood up, walked out, and said, "You guys go out. I just need to stay here with the madman." Everyone was stunned and looked at number 7. Dong Huang Tai jumped up and said, "No. I said, any human." Halfway through his words, Dong Huang Tai suddenly couldn't continue, because he suddenly discovered that guy number 7 was not a member of the human race. Although number 7 also has 1/3 of human genes in his body, he is not a human, and his life fluctuations are completely different from those of the human race, because his body structure is originally very different from that of the human race, but he only has the appearance of the human race. And Dong Huang Tai had no idea that in the Hope Empire, there was a creature that was not human at all. He had already said too much before, and if he changed his words at this time, it would be too obvious, so for a moment I don't know how to deal with this accident. I'm not a human, and I can completely hide my life fluctuations, so I won't disturb you in reinforcing Xianyuan space. Wang Feng is our leader, so we can't let him be alone with someone we don't completely trust. Number 7 turned to Dong Huang Tai. This has nothing to do with strength, but the rules we hope for in the Empire. So, if I can stay, you can reinforce Xianyuan space. If not, then you can go back. As for those ordinary people, you can kill them if you want. If you want to stay, stay, as long as you don't want the Empire to cause trouble, then everything has nothing to do with us. Number 7 made it very clear, and directly made his own decision, giving Dong Huang Tai 2 choices, because when he was in the land of divine punishment, the fallen Dong Huang Tai had talked to him several times, and today the scene was also within the expectations of Dong Huang Tai. Originally, number 7 thought that he would die when the portal was opened, and this scene was caused by the Eastern Emperor Tai. Now, the Eastern Emperor Tai has. Therefore, this time is the time for him, Devourer number 7, to appear. This may be the mission for which he was created. Although number 7 knows in his heart that after today, there may no longer be a devourer in this world, because in the core of his consciousness, the life node belonging to instructor Li Yingning is in the land of divine punishment. At that time, it suddenly lit up for a period of time, but not long after, it returned to its original state again and began to dim. And as time went by, the light spot became increasingly dim, and it seemed that it would be completely extinguished. But it's just a matter of time. Number 7 guessed that Li Yingning was probably trapped somewhere and could not escape. A long period of time without the replenishment of life energy would naturally lead to his death. The sudden light up that time should be the result of Li Yingning's efforts. He tried his best to give it a try, but it seemed that he failed. In this case, then I can leave. They, the Devourers, were originally created. To this world, they are just passers-by. Now, it is finally time for the Devourers family to call its last breath. Wang Feng did not stop number 7 from making his own decisions, and neither did Duan Lei or the others, because they seemed to realize something from No 7's eyes. What they realized was not No 7's death, but that they felt number 7 must have known something, so he said this. Out of trust in number 7, Duan Lei and others looked at Dong Huangtai, waiting for his decision. Well, okay. But you must not disturb me. Looking at No 7's firm gaze and seeing that no one in Duan Lei's group objected, Dong Huangtai finally nodded and said with some inner struggle. Kindness. Number 7 nodded in agreement, then turned around to look at Duan Lei and the others, smiled and waved to them as a farewell gesture. Duan Lei and the others would never have imagined that while number 7 was doing this action, he was silently saying goodbye to them in his heart. Doomsday Special Forces. Author, Huanjing Chengzhu. Chapter 1022. Alright. Seeing that Dong Huangtai had agreed, and that number 7 had made this move, Duan Lei and the others turned around and left the room, heading outside. Number 7 watched them leave the room, and suddenly there was a feeling in his heart that he had never experienced before. It was both pride and satisfaction, but also loss and regret. In short, even he himself couldn't explain why he was like this. What a feeling! As a devourer, he never thought that he, who had been trying to truly integrate into humans, would actually experience the feeling of being human on the day he left this world. I have to say, this feeling is very good. It's just a pity that I don't have much time to experience it anymore. Wang Feng also watched Duan Lei and the others leave, then turned to look at number 7. He was suddenly startled because he felt that something was wrong with No 7's expression. Number 7. Are you okay? Ah. Number 7 then turned around, looked at Wang Feng, smiled softly, went over and patted Wang Feng on the shoulder. It's okay. I just suddenly felt that it was great to meet you. For it. Wang Feng agreed at a loss. He always felt that there was something unusual about number 7 today, but he couldn't figure out what was wrong, so he had to smile at number 7. Okay. Let's get started. Number 7 turned to look at Dong Huangtai and said. Kindness. Dong Huangtai reluctantly agreed. He was very depressed now. The presence of number 7 might cause some minor problems in his plan, but he had no other way. This might be his last time to recapture the Xianyuan sword. Given the opportunity, he will never give up. He is the only one who knows Xianyuan sword best, so he knows the importance of Xianyuan sword to the endless road. Only by obtaining the Xianyuan sword can we open the final door to the pinnacle of the world after passing the test of the endless tower. Therefore, Xianyuan sword is what Dong Huangtai must get, no matter what the price is. Therefore, even if it is a bit risky to start taking action now, Dong Huangtai must fight for it. Then I'll start. Dong Huangtai looked at Wang Feng and said. While I'm reinforcing the space, don't make any moves. And don't worry, I won't try to cut off your mental connection with Xianyuan sword, but you may have some hallucinations during the process. Anyway, as long as you have a spiritual connection with Xianyuan sword, you don't have to worry about me taking your Xianyuan sword away, right? Wang Feng nodded, but he was even more vigilant in his heart, because when number 7 patted his shoulder just now, he tapped his shoulder a few times with his fingers, meaning to tell him to be careful. This was just him and number 7. Xiao Wu and Qiu Jian only knew the code words, which even Duan Lei didn't understand. That's right. Although you can control the energy fluctuations in your body, in order to prevent accidents, you should stay away a little. I'm afraid that any action you make may affect me. Dong Huangtai turned to number 7 again, looked at him and said. Good. To Dong Huangtai's expectation, number 7 agreed happily without saying anything, and immediately turned around and walked far away. Dong Huangtai looked at number 7, a little confused. Could it be that this boy really just stayed to watch the fun? But no matter what, Dong Huangtai is ready to implement his plan. This time, he can only succeed, not fail. Because if he fails, not to mention whether he will have a chance to be alone with Wang Feng next time, even this time, once he exposes his trump card, whether he can leave here alive is another matter. Seeing number 7 walking aside and closing his eyes to rest, and Wang Feng standing quietly in front of him, Dong Huangtai finally slowly raised the Xianyuan sword in his hand, and then sank his consciousness into the Xianyuan sword. Middle. While doing this, Dong Huangtai's other hand pretended to stroke the Xianyuan sword back and forth, as if preparing to strengthen the Xianyuan space, but Dong Huangtai's body did not explode again like before. Produce powerful life energy fluctuations. Because before, Dong Huangtai was just showing off and finding an excuse to let Duan Lei and the others leave. In fact, how could he have any way to strengthen Xianyuan space? This is an artifact that the ancient humans obtained from the Endless Tower. Even they can only seal it but cannot change it, let alone Dong Huangtai. In particular, if you want to strengthen space, you must at least be able to use the ability of space laws, right? Among the human race, besides Wang Feng, who else can possess the law of space? Even Wang Feng only has a superficial understanding of the laws of space. He can only use them, not even use them, let alone control them. But it is precisely because of this that they did not discover this obvious flaw in Dong Huangtai's words. Because no one understood it, Dong Huangtai did not know that he said something wrong, and others did not find out that he said something wrong. Done. Dong Huangtai's current actions are completely delaying time. He is using his mental power to awaken a soul that he had hidden in the Xianyuan sword a long time ago. It was because of this soul that the Dong Huang Emperor was killed in the first place. The transformation of the One. It was an accident. When Dong Huangtai entered Xianyuan space with his consciousness and tried to study the laws of space, he suddenly discovered that he could separate his soul with the help of Xianyuan space. The human soul was originally one and could not be split at all, but because the space law in Xianyuan space is very special, it is even more peculiar than the space law in the space they are in, because there is only space law in this space, and it can independently support a vast and boundless space, and this space law is naturally more powerful. In particular, Dong Huangtai discovered that there are some unique small spaces in Xianyuan space that can actually allow the soul to enter and cut off the connection with its body, while the remaining soul can continue to control its body, which means that he can actually have several souls. This made Dong Huangtai think that if he could use Xianyuan space to divide his soul into many parts, and then create some mechanical bodies, let these souls enter and control these bodies, wouldn't he be able to have countless independent personalities? So, from then on, Dong Huangtai began to constantly experiment with ways to separate his soul, and finally succeeded. Dong Huangtai also made a discovery that surprised him, that is, he could separate some of his emotions, and then seal them with the unique small spaces of Xianyuan sword, so that he could get rid of his negative emotions. Everyone has one or many demons in their hearts, and it is these demons that make humans dirty. There are many names for these demons, such as pride, anger, greed, laziness, jealousy, lust, gluttony. It is these demons that make people arrogant, selfish, greedy, and lustful. If everyone can get rid of the demons in their hearts, what will the human race become? With this idea in mind, Dong Huangtai started the experiment on himself. he separated all his emotions that he thought were negative emotions, first tried to put them in a unique small space, and then used the remaining soul to control his body and lived for a while. Of course, he did not seal the soul that carried negative emotions directly, because Dong Huangtai did not know whether he would encounter an accident or lose his ability to predict if he lost part of his soul. After a period of time, Dong Huangtai found that after he lost his negative emotions, he felt that life was more enjoyable. In his emotions, there was no jealousy, no greed, no laziness, no pride. Such Dong Huangtai surprised others and they began to follow suit, which actually made the human race more harmonious. Therefore, Dong Huangtai finally decided to completely seal his soul with negative emotions. So, Dong Huangtai separated most of his soul in a closed space and entered Xian Yuan sword, preparing to seal his previous souls. However, just when Dong Huangtai was about to complete the seal, an accident suddenly occurred. The soul that had left him for a while was unwilling to be sealed, so at the last moment, it rushed out of that space and pushed this part of Dong Huangtai's soul into that space, and then quickly completed the seal before he could react. Except Dong Huangtai himself, no one knew about Dong Huangtai's changes. Except for Dong Huangtai who had some premonitions before sealing his soul and Fuxi who had specially taken care of him, no one noticed Dong Huangtai's abnormality. Although he knew that there might be accidents in his sealing this time, Dong Huangtai still did it without hesitation, because at that time, Dong Huangtai had no negative emotions and became close to perfection, so he was willing to take risks. Because Dong Huangtai was thinking that if he could seal successfully this time, he could thoroughly promote this method among the human race, starting from the top, and gradually seal all the negative emotions of everyone. In this way, the human race will surely grow rapidly, because everyone has no selfishness, and of course they can rise rapidly. For the glory of the human race, Dong Huangtai is of course willing to do this, and even if he fails, the loss is only himself. It's a pity that he failed in the end, and the consequences of failure are far more serious than he imagined. Because Dong Huangtai did not die after the failure, he is still alive, but his body is controlled by the soul with an absolute advantage of negative emotions, so from that moment on, Dong Huangtai has completely changed. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Doomsday Special Forces. Author, Huanjing Chengzhu. Chapter 1023. Because he had studied the relationship between emotions and souls for a long time, Dong Huangtai had become an expert in separating emotions and splitting souls. Although Dong Huangtai left a soul in his body when he sealed his soul, this soul lost control of the body after Dong Huang's negative soul returned to the body and was swallowed by the negative soul. Fortunately, Dong Huangtai had left some positive emotions in his body to prevent others. Although they were suppressed by negative emotions, they still had a certain impact on his negative emotions, so that Dong Huangtai did not fall into madness immediately. But at this time, Dong Huangtai was still controlled by negative emotions such as greed and desire. Therefore, Dong Huangtai, who knew the secrets of Xian Yuan sword and the endless road, began his own layout. He wanted to use the human race to help himself climb the endless tower after the endless road was opened, stand at the top of the world, and control the universe. So, after completely sealing a part of his soul, Dong Huangtai split into two souls again. One soul was hidden in the deepest part of Xian Yuan sword, which was the trump card for him to take back Xian Yuan sword in the future. Because it could not be discovered by the owner of Xian Yuan sword, this soul was also sealed by Dong Huangtai, hiding all traces. The other soul was the soul that Wang Feng had contacted when Xian Yuan sword was completely unsealed. And now, Dong Huangtai is unsealing the soul that he had sealed, because this soul had been tampered with by Dong Huangtai before. Once it is unsealed, Dong Huang Tai can cooperate with it from inside and outside to snatch Xian Yuan sword from Wang Feng. Although Wang Feng has completely merged with Xian Yuan sword, Dong Huang Tai has been studying Xian Yuan sword for so long, far longer than the time when Wang Feng got Xian Yuan sword. Therefore, once Dong Huang Tai releases the soul he has sealed, Wang Feng will completely lose Xian Yuan sword, and everything in Xian Yuan sword, whether it is life energy or other materials and space battleships, will all become Dong Huang Tai's spoils of war. And Wang Feng will naturally become penniless again. But Wang Feng naturally doesn't know his crisis now. Although he is a little confused about Dong Huang Tai's lack of reinforcement of Xian Yuan space, he didn't ask directly when he saw that number 7 seemed to be confident. Time passed slowly, and half an hour passed in a blink of an eye, and Dong Huang Tai's face finally showed an ecstatic look, because his trump card, the sealed soul, has been completely released by him. Ha ha ha. Thank you, little guy. Dong Huang Tai, who was sure of victory, couldn't help but laugh, because he was about to merge with his soul. Once the fusion was successful, he would get control of Xian Yuan sword, and Dong Huang Tai would directly destroy Wang Feng's consciousness after merging his soul, turning Wang Feng into a soulless walking corpse. At that time, as long as Dong Huang Tai split one of his souls to control Wang Feng's body, Wang Feng would become his clone, and the Hope Expeditionary Force under Wang Feng, as well as the Hope Empire, would naturally become Dong Huang Tai's possession. There are still more than 10 years before the Endless Road is officially opened. During this period, Dong Huang Tai is completely in control of the Hope Empire and turn it into his own power. With the help of this powerful army, Dong Huang Tai is almost 80% sure to reach the top of the Endless Tower and fulfill his ultimate dream. Of course, after completely controlling the Hope Empire and merging it with the human race of the original star, Dong Huang Tai still had to carry out the previous massacre plan, because he had no way to reinforce Xian Yuan space. He had only deceived Wang Feng and others in order to complete his plan. Therefore, if he wanted to prevent those humans who had no combat ability from becoming a burden to him, killing was the only way. Now Dong Huang Tai did not dare to propose this idea because the human race of the original star was still human after all. They supported him now and did not stand on the side of Fuxi, just because of his identity as a great prophet. But once he proposed that idea, even if he only revealed a little bit, he would be suspected by those people and turn to Fuxi's side. Therefore, Dong Huang Tai had to use Wang Feng's body to continue to pretend to be Wang Feng, and then use Wang Feng's mouth to say that he could not speak out his foresight because of his difficulties, which caused Fuxi's misunderstanding. As long as he could convince Fuxi to stand on his side, and then make up a lie, such as saying that the death of these people was only temporary, and they could be resurrected after reaching the top of the Endless Tower, he would be able to deceive the high-ranking officials of the human race. After all, the secrets of the Endless Tower and Xian Yuan sword were only known by the great prophets of all generations. Even the 3 emperors of the human race never knew the details. They only knew that Xian Yuan sword was the most important artifact of the human race and that there was such a place as the Endless Tower. Now, Dong Huang Tai's many years of layout were finally about to bear fruit, so Dong Huang Tai certainly had to find someone to share it with him, but he only had Wang Feng in front of him, so he could only tell Wang Feng. As for number 7, we can't let him know yet because Dong Huang Tai wants to seize Wang Feng. If number 7 notices it, there may be trouble when taking over the Hope Empire. Therefore, even if Dong Huang Tai is excited incomparable, but he can only have a conscious dialogue with Wang Feng through his own soul that has entered the Xian Yuan sword. What? Wang Feng was stunned. He heard the voice of Dong Huang Tai coming from his consciousness. This voice was very familiar because Wang Feng had communicated with this consciousness many times when the Xian Yuan sword was completely unsealed. I said I wanted to thank you. Little one. Dong Huang Tai smiled happily. Now he no longer needs to hide anything from Wang Feng, because Wang Feng's soul is now locked by him. Even if he wants to escape, there is no place to escape, and he will definitely be captured by him. Devour and occupy his body, becoming a new Wang Feng. First of all, I want to thank you for helping me unseal the Xianyuan sword. Dong Huangtai's voice was extremely proud. And, there is such a huge energy in the Xianyuan sword? I can't tell that you are still such a murderous person, but it doesn't matter, these will all be mine from now on. And I would also like to thank you for preparing such a good army for me. They are so powerful and will become my most powerful helper in climbing the endless tower. Don't worry, I will make good use of them and will not let them too many of them died, and I won't expose myself, so they will still feel that they are working for you. Ha 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 ha. Dong Huangtai seemed to have thought of something funny. Of course, after this matter between us is over, Xianyuan sword, the contents inside, and your body will all belong to me. But others will not know, so when leaving here, we will reach an agreement in front of everyone, and you will become the commander-in-chief of the human race after entering the endless road, and I will continue to be my great prophet. Anyway, they don't know that you were completely controlled by me at that time. What you mean is of course mine. It means. To Dong Huangtai's surprise, Wang Feng didn't seem to be panicking because his soul was trapped, he couldn't even control his body, and he was completely cut off from the outside world. Instead, he asked quite calmly. Actually, it's a lie that you want to strengthen Xianyuan space. Your true purpose is actually to recapture the Xianyuan sword and fulfill your ambition, right? That's right. Although Dong Huangtai was surprised by Wang Feng's reaction, he still answered happily because he didn't believe that Wang Feng had any trump cards. After the soul that he had communicated with returned to his body, Dong Huangtai now I have a deep understanding of Wang Feng. Although this Wang Feng went to the land of divine punishment and improved a lot in strength, now they are fighting for the soul and the strengthening of the soul. Dong Huangtai is not afraid of anyone. Because of the Xianyuan sword, Dong Huang in terms of soul, Tai can be said to be an expert among experts. It can be said that no one in this world can match him. What's more, the strengthening of the soul is only related to time. The longer it survives, the higher the strength of the soul. This is an existence similar to the rules of heaven and earth, and no one can break it. Dong Huangtai didn't believe that Wang Feng, a young boy in his 30s, could compete with him in soul. That was simply the biggest joke, so Dong Huangtai was now confident. The Xianyuan sword originally belonged to me. I just want to get back my own things. In addition, you have used my Xianyuan sword for such a long time. You should pay some rent or something. I will give you your body and your power, accept it and consider it the price of using Xianyuan sword for so long. Dong Huangtai said generously. In addition, I will remember your contribution to the human race. When I climb to the top of the endless tower and stand at the top of the world, maybe I will take the time to think of you. Ha 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 ha. Are you, arrogant too early? You seem to have forgotten something, right? Wang Feng still did not panic, but asked with a chuckle. Doomsday Special Forces. Author, Huanjing Chengzhu. Chapter 1024. Kindness. Hearing Wang Feng's words, Dong Huangtai couldn't help but pause, and then said disdainfully. Okay. No need to be pretentious, delaying time is useless. Those guys outside have no idea how much time we need. Moreover, now my soul is already in Xianyuan space, even if they destroy my body, I can also occupy your body. At worst, I will just change my name. I don't believe it. They dare to destroy your body, devour your soul, and then occupy your body. I can also achieve my goal. As long as I can stand on the top of the world, whoever's body I use, I don't care, as long as the soul is mine. Do you still have any ability to stop me from devouring your soul now? Ha ha. Little guy, there is no need to pretend, no matter you are calm or panicked, I will completely devour your soul and then take over your body. Well. Wang Feng sighed and then said. Did you know that there is a famous saying on our planet, bad guys usually die from talking too much? If all bad guys could be smarter, talk less, and do more, maybe the endings of many stories would be better. The villain succeeds and the protagonist dies. It's true that I don't have the ability to resist you swallowing my soul, but that doesn't mean you can swallow my soul. Don't you remember what I reminded you just now? I just said that you forgot one thing, that is, we are not the only two in our room. You keep talking about swallowing my soul, but you know, we are not the best at this. Human race, but, devourer. Wang Feng didn't panic until now because he knew that number 7 was still here. Looking at No 7's expression before, Wang Feng guessed that number 7 might know something. Therefore, out of trust in number 7, Wang Feng decided to agree with the previous approach of number 7, and Duan Lei and the others did not object. Although it seems that he is at the end of his rope, Wang Feng believes that number 7 will definitely take action, that's why he is so calm, and he doesn't forget to remind Dong Huangtai. Humph. You mean that devourer? Dong Huangtai felt this in his heart, but he still said disdainfully. Now our bodies are still there, without any abnormality. We are just communicating with souls, without any fluctuations in life energy. He can't feel it at all. I'm afraid the devourer is still there in a daze. You just don't think he will save you. However, despite his nonchalant words, Dong Huangtai directly began to summon the soul that he had unsealed, trying to merge with himself, and rushed directly towards Wang Feng's soul. Wang Feng was right. He talked too much. If he had taken action immediately after coming in, Wang Feng might have swallowed his soul and taken control of his body. But he can't blame Dong Huangtai. After all, he has to share the plan that has been brewing for a long time with others, so as to show his power. Otherwise, wouldn't it be Jin Yi Yexing? No matter how powerful you are, if no one knows about it, then it's useless. Why do people like to show off? It is to let others know how awesome you are and to hear others praise you. This is the greatest achievement. Affected by negative emotions, Dong Huangtai no longer has the stability he should have as a great prophet. But Dong Huangtai felt that it was not too late for him to take action now. As long as he gave him a minute or two, he could fuse his soul, swallow Wang Feng, and occupy his body. However, just as Dong Huangtai's soul rushed towards Wang Feng's soul, the other two souls unexpectedly appeared and rushed directly towards Dong Huangtai's soul. This is. Dong Huangtai was shocked because he actually felt an unusually familiar aura from one of the two souls. It seemed to be his own soul. However, one of his souls, carrying those positive emotions, was permanently sealed in the Xianyuan sword and could not escape. The other one was preparing to fly towards him and merge with him. Before, he stayed in the Xianyuan sword. The soul that he had communicated with Wang Feng has long been taken back by him. He no longer has any soul clone outside. But one of the two souls opposite him really made him feel that this was his own soul. How could Dong Huangtai not be surprised? Regarding the other soul, Dong Huangtai felt that it belonged to the devourer outside, so he had no scruples. Even if Wang Feng's own soul was added now, he already had 3 enemies, but Dong Huangtai was the only one he had any scruples about. That is, the soul that is most likely one's own. Dong Huangtai is almost invincible in terms of soul. He doesn't even care about the soul of the devourer, because he believes that his achievements in soul absolutely surpass any living thing. However, among all these creatures, he is the only one who does not include himself. Now Dong Huangtai finally understands why humans always say, the biggest enemy in life is yourself. However, Dong Huangtai did not give up, because now he had no way to escape. Now that he had started, he must continue to the end, because once he left and returned to his body, Wang Feng would also regain his ability to move. In that case, 10 of them would not be Wang Feng's opponent. It would be better to take this opportunity to fight them. Dong Huangtai was also certain in his heart, because the soul that he had sealed in Xian Yuan sword as a trump card had grown a lot after these long years. Once it came to merge with him, his soul would instantly become stronger. At least it should be enough to deal with the crisis in front of him. Just when Dong Huangtai thought he would not fail, another accident occurred again. The two new souls, the one with the same soul aura as his, rushed straight towards him, while the other soul belonging to the devourer flew in another direction and did not come up to attack him. Dong Huangtai was stunned, and then immediately reacted. The direction where the devourer soul went was the one that he had sealed permanently, carrying positive emotions, and his own soul. Dong Huangtai was almost scared to death, and quickly sent a message to his soul that had just escaped, asking him to intercept No 7's soul, and not to let him release the sealed soul no matter what. He didn't go by himself because the soul opposite, which had the same aura as his, had entangled him and couldn't get away at all. However, after number 7 arrived at the location of Dong Huangtai's sealed soul, another soul of Dong Huangtai also arrived. Seeing this, Dong Huangtai's original soul finally breathed a sigh of relief. Why does it feel so confusing? Raise your hand if you don't understand. It is definitely not that easy to unlock the seal you set. Now there is interference from your own soul clone, and it is impossible for No 7's soul to release the positive soul that was completely sealed by himself. However, Dong Huangtai had not had time to completely let go of his breath, and another accident made him suddenly feel that his trouble today seemed to be a bit big. After the soul of number 7 came to the space where the seal was located, it did not try to unlock the seal, but directly clung to the seal it had set, and directly exploded its soul. This change, in addition to the soul of Dong Huangtai who came in with him, seemed to have anticipated it. Even Wang Feng was stunned. Before, he saw that number 7 was confident, and thought that number 7 had known what was going to happen and had the ability to solve it, so he was so relaxed. But Wang Feng did not expect that number 7 did have a way, but this way was so tragic and tragic. Even more surprised was Dong Huangtai, because No 7's soul could leave the body and easily enter the body of other creatures, which meant that No 7's mastery of the soul was also quite high. This kind of creature can take over other creatures, that is to say, number 7 is a creature with infinite life. Why would such a creature give up its life so easily? You know, self-destruction of the soul means that life is completely dissipated, and there is no room for recovery. He is just a devourer, not a human. According to the body structure of the devourer, even if he does not take over other creatures, he can live to the end of the world. Why would he give up his eternal life for humans? What kind of power does this come from that can make number 7 do this? Dong Huangtai, who has been controlled by negative emotions, can't understand No 7's behavior at all, but at the moment of his astonishment, the soul that came in together has completely entangled him. The self-destruction of number 7 directly and completely destroyed the seal that Dong Huangtai used to seal his soul. Then, two souls floated out from which space? 2. Dong Huangtai's other soul, which originally came to stop number 7, was shocked to see that two souls appeared from the space, and then turned around and wanted to escape to meet with his main soul. However, when he thought of this, it was too late. After the two souls appeared, they pounced on him and entangled him tightly, leaving him nowhere to escape. Doomsday Special Forces. Author, Huanjing Chengzhu. Chapter 1025. This series of emergencies made Dong Huangtai's heart fall to the bottom of the valley. Unfortunately, he had no way out. Not to mention that his two souls were entangled and couldn't escape at all. Even if he could escape, he couldn't survive. Even now, Wang Feng could directly return his soul to his body and then kill his body directly. Therefore, From the current situation, Dong Huangtai had no choice but to fight to the death. Fortunately, Wang Feng's soul was stunned because he saw no seven soul self-destruct, so he didn't directly return his soul to his body to kill Dong Huangtai's body. Because Wang Feng was shocked by the action of no seven soul just now. Although he didn't know much about souls, he also knew that no seven self-destruction just now was definitely not a good thing. Moreover, after number 7 self-destruct, the soul that appeared from that space also shocked Wang Feng, because one of the two souls was quite familiar to Wang Feng. It was instructor Li Yingning. Needless to say, the other one was Dong Huangtai's own positive soul. After being sealed for endless years, he finally escaped after no 7 self-explosion. The two souls that escaped rushed directly towards the soul that was originally going to stop number 7, and because of the restraint of Dong Huangtai's positive soul, this soul was quickly swallowed up by instructor Li Yingning. Because this soul was originally used by Dong Huangtai as a trump card, it was not very powerful. Although it has grown a lot after experiencing these endless years, his enemy was originally a soul that belonged to the same body as him, and was sealed for a longer time than him, so of course he could not resist it. It's just that Dong Huangtai's own positive soul did not merge with the soul that originally belonged to him, because this soul was full of negative emotions. If he swallowed it, similar incidents might happen in the future. Therefore, although he knew that his soul would be much stronger after the fusion of his soul, Dong Huangtai's positive soul still let Li Yingning's soul devour his negative soul. Because it was not one with his own soul, Li Yingning would not be affected by those emotions after devouring Dong Huangtai's negative soul, but would strengthen his soul's strength. The destruction of the soul made the soul of Dong Huangtai, who entered here first, completely desperate, because he knew that he had no chance of winning against two souls from himself and another equally powerful soul. Stop! Dong Huangtai stretched out his hand and directly stopped the soul on the opposite side from attacking him. Where are you from? I don't remember that I split your soul. The soul of Dong Huangtai's original body looked at the soul on the opposite side and asked. The soul opposite him, which also belonged to Dong Huangtai, smiled slightly. Because I am not the Dong Huangtai of this universe, so, it's our first meeting, please take care of me. This Dong Huangtai's soul, of course, is the Dong Huangtai from the secondary universe. After activating the portal, in fact, this Dong Huangtai does not have to die, but the price is that number 7 will die. This is also the reason why number 7 reacted so strangely at that time, because when number 7 activated the portal, he was determined to die, and this was also what Dong Huangtai told him very clearly at that time. However, at the last moment, Dong Huangtai increased his life energy output and directly saved No 7's life, but the price was that his own body lost its vitality, and his soul also entered No 7's body to parasitize, temporarily falling into a deep sleep. At this time, when Wang Feng's soul was in danger and was attacked by the soul of Dong Huangtai in the main universe, the soul of Dong Huangtai in the secondary universe finally awakened, and followed the soul of number 7 to enter Wang Feng's body. His mission is to come here to stop Dong Huangtai, who was controlled by negative emotions and had a drastic change in temperament. As for number 7, the way he used self-destruction to unlock the seal was told to him by Dong Huangtai in the secondary universe, because if they didn't take this extreme method, they would have no time to open the seal. Besides, the soul of Dong Huangtai in the secondary universe was severely damaged when activating the portal. He had been recuperating in a deep sleep before, and number 7 just woke up, so he could only entangle the soul of Dong Huangtai in the main universe and couldn't devour him at all. Now, he and number 7 succeeded. The sealed soul of Dong Huangtai was finally released. Although it was a bit unexpected, this soul obviously belonged to his side. Because when these two souls rushed out of the sealed space, the soul of number 7 who exploded had not completely dissipated. Dong Huangtai in the secondary universe felt the cleansing. When he saw the extra soul, the soul of number 7 exuded joy. Unfortunately, number 7 could no longer control his soul at this time. He only had time to send a final consciousness transmission to Li Yingning, and then he completely dissipated and transformed into the purest life energy, which was automatically absorbed by Xianyuan space. After devouring that soul, the souls of Li Yingning and Dong Huangtai flew towards the last soul of Dong Huangtai. Ha 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 ha. Controlled by negative emotions, Dong Huangtai finally realized that his fate was over, so he suddenly laughed maniacally and shouted. It turns out that you are the wisest. Although I started the layout very early, your layout was actually so much earlier than mine, ha 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 ha. It seems. I am just a pawn of yours. Yes. Don't be proud. Even if this is the case, I won't make it easy for you. Since you are going to die, then let's all die together. As soon as he finished speaking, the soul of Vice Universe Dong Huangtai, who had been entangled with him, suddenly shouted. Back off. He's going to blow himself up. Just as he was halfway through his words, the soul of Dong Huangtai, who was laughing wildly, exploded like the soul of number 7. Fortunately, the instructor Li Yingning reacted very quickly. When he heard Dong Huangtai from the Vice Universe say the word retreat, he grabbed the soul of Dong Huangtai next to him and then retreated towards the back, thus escaping. However, the two entangled souls began to dissipate at the same time. The two souls of Dong Huangtai in the main universe and Dong Huangtai in the sub-universe collapsed at the same time, and they can no longer distinguish each other. My mission is accomplished, you have to keep working hard. When these two souls dissipated, a consciousness transmission was sent directly to Wang Feng. These words were the last words left by Dong Huangtai of the Vice Universe in this world. Wang Feng's soul stood blankly in the Xianyuan space, looking at everything in front of him. Things happened too fast, and it was over before he had time to react. Originally, together with Wang Feng's soul, a total of 7 souls appeared in Xianyuan space. 4 of them came from Dong Huangtai, but 1 came from the sub-universe, and the other 3 came from Dong Huang from the main universe. Tai. But now, only Wang Feng, Li Yingning, and the soul of Dong Huangtai, who had been sealed for many years. Li Yingning's soul slowly floated in front of Wang Feng, looked at Wang Feng, and then said softly, "Get out first." Then, without waiting for Wang Feng to react, Li Yingning's soul and Dong Huangtai's soul looked at each other and left the Xianyuan space at the same time. After their souls disappeared, Wang Feng reacted, but he did not leave immediately. Instead, he went to the place where number 7 self-destruct, trying to find the traces left by number 7. However, Wang Feng was disappointed in the end. He didn't feel even a trace of No 7's breath. Number 7 had completely fallen. When Wang Feng's soul returned to his own body, the first thing he saw was Dong Huangtai. At this time, Dong Huangtai's eyes had become completely different, quite clear, and almost free of impurities. But Wang Feng didn't care about this. He turned directly to look at the body of number 7. Number 7 was still alive and looking at Wang Feng with a complicated look. Wang Feng slowly walked to number 7 and opened his mouth hesitantly. "Instructor. Kindness." Number 7, Li Yingning nodded slightly, because No 7's soul had self-destruct. Therefore, the body of number 7 at this time was occupied by the soul of instructor Li Yingning. Wang Feng's mouth opened again, but no sound came out because he didn't know what he should say. Instructor Li Yingning finally returned. Originally, he should be quite excited, but the price of Li Yingning's return was the death of number 7, which made Wang Feng very sad. Dong Huang. Seeing Wang Feng's expression, Li Yingning didn't say much, just patted his shoulder gently, and then turned to look at Dong Huangtai. "Are you sure there's nothing wrong?" Li Yingning was very familiar with Dong Huang's tone of voice, as if the two were old friends who had known each other for many years. Dong Huangtai was sensing his body at this time. Hearing this, he smiled at Li Yingning. It's okay. Although I haven't returned to my body for many years, I am still very familiar with it. There is just a small problem. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Doomsday Special Forces. Author, Huanjing Chengzhu. Chapter 1026. What's the problem? Hearing Dong Huangtai's words, Li Yingning couldn't help but look at Dong Huangtai, and even Wang Feng also looked at Dong Huangtai. This guy has cultivated a secret force in the human race. He only takes orders from himself. None of these guys are good birds. Their hands are full of blood, especially after arriving on the home planet. Dong Huangtai shook his head and said, I'm thinking about what to do with them. Kill. Li Yingning's answer was quite simple. You also said that their hands are full of blood, so just kill them. Is there any need to be embarrassed? But Dong Huangtai said with some embarrassment. Almost most of them are not like this in fact. They were deceived by the guy before, and they have shouldered so many blood debts. Many of them were even framed by design, or coerced and lured. In short, I need to take the main responsibility for what they have become. Are you responsible for the yarn? Li Yingning frowned and said. The former Dong Huangtai is not you. Don't blame yourself for what he did. Well. Dong Huangtai looked up to the sky and sighed. If I hadn't conducted this soul-splitting experiment in order to make human beings perfect, how could this Dong Huangtai have appeared? Moreover, the soul that controlled this Dong Huangtai before was also mine, and the negative emotions that affected him, it's also my own. You are telling me now that I have nothing to do with the depravity of those people, haha. How is that possible? Wang Feng. Dong Huangtai suddenly looked at Wang Feng and said. Call those people outside. Even though my soul has been changed, I am still Dong Huangtai. I will still need to clean up the mess I left behind. Yes. Senior Dong Huang. Wang Feng replied respectfully, the current Dong Huangtai is no longer the one before, so Wang Feng naturally changed his attitude. When Duan Lei and the others came in, they were not surprised to see the scene in the house. After all, when they went out, it was these three people inside, and they are still these three people now. Of course, there is nothing surprising. But they didn't know that although these three people still looked like the same three people before, except for Wang Feng, the other two people were no longer the same people. Seeing Fuxi walking in, Dong Huangtai suddenly took a deep breath, and then let out a long sigh. Mistress. Fuxi was stunned. He had not heard this name for quite some time, because it was the name Dong Huangtai used before his transformation. Fuxi looked at Dong Huangtai. When he saw Dong Huangtai's eyes, he couldn't help but trembled. Then he walked quickly to Dong Huangtai, staring at Dong Huangtai in disbelief, trembling in his mouth. Asked. Old, teacher. He. Dong Huangtai looked at Fuxi in front of him and said with emotion. It's hard for you to recognize me. Is it really you? Teacher. Fuxi looked excited. When he saw Dong Huangtai's eyes, he felt something was wrong, because this look was so familiar to him, and it was not at all like the Dong Huangtai's eyes before. Now that it was confirmed, Fuxi couldn't help but feel relieved. Ever since Dong Huangtai changed, Fuxi had put all the burden of the human race on his shoulders. After so many years, it can be said that Fuxi has become mentally and physically exhausted. But he had no one else to help him, so he could only hold on by himself. Now, the real Dong Huangtai has returned. Although he doesn't know why, at least he can finally take off the burden on his shoulders. Seeing this scene, Duan Lei and the others were confused for a moment. What happened? Didn't Fuxi and Dong Huangtai have a delicate relationship before and were wary of each other? Why did Fuxi actually call the teacher directly after such a short time? Tang Haoshan, Lu Feng, and the Martian trio, who had already heard the news, blinked their eyes, the fire of gossip burning in their hearts. They happened to see Li Yingning standing aside, so their eyes lit up, and they all started talking. Surrounded them. They didn't know that number 7 at this time was no longer number 7, but instructor Li Yingning, so they all asked. Number 7. What's going on? What happened before? Li Yingning looked at the people surrounding him and felt infinite emotion in his heart. He had been imprisoned for nearly 20 years. Although it was nothing to the Devourer's long life, seeing these familiar faces again, there is still some excitement in my heart. In particular, the person they call themselves number 7 is actually not particularly familiar with them, but at the last moment, he blew up his own soul and released his own kind. Let me tell you. Wang Feng saw this situation and shouted loudly that he knew Li Yingning's character, so he came to the rescue. After you leave. After hearing Wang Feng's words, the venue instantly became quiet, and Wang Feng began to talk about what happened before. After Wang Feng finished speaking, no one spoke for a long time. They did not expect that in the short time they left, so many things happened, and so many Dong Huangtai also made them. It sounded a little confusing. After all, the soul-splitting thing is still quite unfamiliar to other human races. That is to say. Lu Feng looked at Li Yingning. Are you the instructor? Hearing Lu Feng's words, Mars, who had put his arm on Li Yingning's shoulder to get information, suddenly reacted, as if he was burned, and suddenly retracted his hand, stammering. Hello, instructor. Although Li Yingning had been missing for nearly 20 years, and some people even thought that Li Yingning was dead, when Li Yingning really appeared in front of them, the fear of Li Yingning returned to their hearts instantly. After understanding Li Yingning's true identity, those who surrounded him all stepped back unconsciously, even the two big guys Lu Feng and Tang Haoshan were no exception. Madman! You said, number 7. Qiu Jian asked with his eyes wide open, and Xiao Wu also looked at Wang Feng nervously. In the Hope Expeditionary Force, except for Wang Feng, only these two people were the most familiar with number 7. Well, he should be. Wang Feng shook his head and said with a gloomy look. Li Yingning's eyes flickered, but he didn't say anything. In fact, Li Yingning could revive number 7, but Li Yingning himself didn't know whether he should do so. Strictly speaking, Li Yingning didn't revive number 7, but copied number 7. Although no 7 soul exploded, because Li Yingning came out very quickly, he still had time to collect some of no 7 soul fragments. And Li Yingning has now devoured the cores of 2 devourers' nests, and he has already met the conditions to become a nest. In addition, no 7's consciousness is also in his current body, so Li Yingning, who now has the ability of a nest, can be copied again. However, although the new number 7 was still created using the consciousness of number 7, since Li Yingning only got some soul fragments of number 7, the new number 7 would not retain the memory of the previous number 7. In this case, it was just a copy of number 7. To be honest, the previous number 7 still died, so Li Yingning did not correct Wang Feng's statement. After learning about the death of number 7, the other people around him were silent for a while, because number 7, the devourer, had actually been completely accepted by them and regarded as a real human being. In addition, the death of number 7 this time could be said to be to save Wang Feng, because if he had not self-destruct, and the positive souls of Li Yingning and Dong Huangtai had not been released, he and the soul of Dong Huangtai in the secondary universe whose soul was injured before would not be the opponent of the 2 souls of Dong Huangtai. Although Wang Feng's soul was there at the time, Dong Huangtai wanted to seize the Xianyuan sword, so he had already imprisoned Wang Feng's soul there when he entered the Xianyuan space. Therefore, Wang Feng's soul at that time could not move at all, and it was not until the soul of Dong Huangtai exploded that it gained freedom. Although the evil soul of Dong Huangtai finally exploded in the soul contest, they also lost two souls, one number 7 and one Dong Huangtai from the secondary universe. It can be said that they still failed in this battle, and it was a miserable defeat. However, at least they eliminated a crisis of the human race. Now that the original Dong Huangtai has returned, the division of the human race will naturally not continue. I believe that the human race will soon be truly unified and begin to prepare for the endless road. Instructor. Why did your soul appear in Xianyuan space, and was sealed together with the soul of Senior Dong Huang? Wang Feng didn't want to talk about number 7 anymore, so he changed the subject and looked at Li Yingning and asked. What happened after you entered the Devourer's nest? Li Yingning looked up at Wang Feng, then at the others. He knew that Wang Feng wanted to divert the heavy topic of No 7's death, so he recalled. On the day of the nest, I was able to hold on in the energy storm, but later because of the death of the nest, my consciousness core was directly sucked into the nest. I originally thought I would die there, but I found that after my consciousness core merged with the core of the nest, I actually swallowed the core of the nest. I think it might be because the nest had lost consciousness at that time. However, immediately afterwards, I was absorbed into the Xianyuan sword. If another consciousness had not suddenly appeared and sent me to a space, I would probably have been swallowed by your Xianyuan sword now. Doomsday Special Forces. Author, Huanjing Chengzhu. Chapter 1027. Having said this, Li Yingning looked up at Wang Feng and laughed softly. You won't be able to guess who this person is. Wang Feng was stunned for a moment, then looked at Dong Huangtai. In Wang Feng's mind, since Li Yingning's soul appeared with Dong Huangtai, then it was natural that Dong Huangtai should have saved him. However, since Li Yingning asked this, it would definitely not be Dong Huangtai. Sure enough, Dong Huangtai saw Wang Feng looking at him and shook his head gently. Wang Feng frowned. If it wasn't Dong Huangtai, who could it be? At that time, no one was allowed in his Xianyuan space. No need to guess. It's the Apostle John. Li Yingning sighed softly and said. Ha ha. Although he is just a consciousness of mine, I didn't expect that he actually saved me in the end. It turned out that when Li Yingning was absorbed into the Xianyuan space along with the life energy by Xianyuan sword, Apostle John, who was the weapon spirit of Xianyuan sword at that time, of course discovered Li Yingning. Originally, he had no way to save Li Yingning. Ning's soul, but at that time Xianyuan sword was completely unsealed, so all the spaces inside were exposed to the consciousness of Apostle John. When he saw the two spaces where souls were sealed, Apostle John discovered that these two spaces were the only ones that were not affected by the violent life energy in Xianyuan sword, so he immediately thought of a way to directly remove Li Yingning. Sent to one of the dimensions, but the price Apostle John paid was the death of his own consciousness. It is precisely because of this that no matter how Wang Feng called the Apostle John, he never got a response from him. At that time, the consciousness of Dong Huangtai, who later had many exchanges with Wang Feng, had just been awakened from his deep sleep, so he did not notice these changes. And Li Yingning's luck is also good. The space he entered happened to be the space where the soul of Dong Huangtai was located. If it was the other one, Li Yingning would have died by now, because the soul of Dong Huangtai was, but will not be friendly to him. After entering this special space, Li Yingning and Dong Huangtai gradually became familiar with each other. Dong Huangtai originally felt uncomfortable being locked up in it alone, but fortunately, in his soul, there are no negative emotions, so I can endure this loneliness. But now that he has another soul, Dong Huangtai finally has someone he can chat with to relieve his boredom. While chatting again, Li Yingning suddenly remembered that there was another soul sealed in the Xianyuan space. When Dong Huangtai heard this, combined with what he had learned from his previous chat with Li Yingning, he guessed the meaning of Dong Huang Tai outside without thinking too much. So, Dong Huang Tai told Li Yingning his guess. Of course, Li Yingning wanted to pass this information to Wang Feng, but unfortunately, his soul, like Dong Huang Tai's, was also its sealed, so there's no way to escape. It was not until later that Wang Feng entered the sub-universe and killed a Devourer's brood again. With the traction of the core of the brood and the vibration of the Xianyuan sword space, the seal was not so stable at that time, and Li Yingning was able to taking this opportunity. He appeared in front of Wang Feng once, but the time was quite short. He only had time to warn Wang Feng before he had to return to the previous seal again. Because Li Yingning was only in the state of his soul at this time, without a body to carry it, he would soon be decomposed by the laws of heaven and earth, so Li Yingning had to return to his previous prison. However, in the past 10 years, Li Yingning and Dong Huang Tai have discussed many ways to deal with the evil Dong Huang Tai, so although they have not been explained clearly, Li Yingning does not take it to heart. Originally, Dong Huang Tai, who knew Xianyuan sword, was planning to come out to rescue Wang Feng with Li Yingning when the evil Dong Huang and the soul he ambushed worked together inside and outside to directly seize the Xianyuan sword. Because after the evil Dong Huang merged with his trump card soul, he could directly cut off the connection between Wang Feng and Xianyuan sword, and at this moment, the souls of Dong Huang Tai and Li Yingning could take the opportunity to break the seal. Although Wang Feng's soul will be injured in this way, and when he fuses Xianyuan sword again, he will no longer have the same degree of compatibility as now, but that is the only way Dong Huang Tai can think of. As for what happened next, Wang Feng knew everything. Just as the two of them were waiting for the moment when the link between Xianyuan sword and Wang Feng was severed, the seal in their space was directly destroyed by No 7's self-destruction. So these two people naturally got out of trouble directly. As soon as he came out of that space, Li Yingning felt a familiar aura, because it was emanating from the souls of his kind. Then, he heard No 7's consciousness transmission. "Prince. My body is outside, you can use it directly. I'm going to take the first step. Devourer, don't be extinct." Li Yingning was shocked, but at this time, No 7's soul had already dissipated. Li Yingning only had time to collect a few soul fragments before losing No 7's aura. Li Yingning felt the few soul fragments belonging to number 7 in his soul, and couldn't help but feel a little sad. He was the only devourer in this world now, even though he was actually a real devourer's nest now. He could switch to the brood form at any time and create a large number of devourers, but Li Yingning did not intend to do this. The devourer race is destined to rely on killing to survive. Li Yingning does not want this race to appear again. Although No 7's last words are to continue the legacy of the devourers, as long as Li Yingning does not die, it will be considered as the completion of No 7's mission. Last wish. Looking at Wang Feng and the others, Li Yingning thought that although these people were grieving for the death of number 7, they might never have thought that although they all regarded number 7 as a member of the human race and one of their own, in the number 7 always remembered that he was the devourer. Number 7 is different from Li Yingning. Li Yingning is a prince and has been locked up in the mother's nest almost since the day he was born. Therefore, he has no sense of belonging to the devourer clan. But number 7 is the lowest level devourer combat unit. After meeting Wang Feng, he slowly grew up and reached this point today. Although number 7 did not have his own when he was among the devourers, awareness of autonomy, but the three words devourer still left a mark on his heart. Perhaps, the sense of national honor is not determined by identity and status, and the reason why number 7 self-destructed without hesitation may not only save Wang Feng's soul, but also Li Yingning's factors. Because number 7 knows that he will not be able to grow the devourer race no matter what, because he does not have this ability, and Li Yingning is the prince, and may now be the mother's nest, so Li Yingning has this ability. Especially after No 7's soul entered the Xianyuan space, he actually felt that the light spot representing Li Yingning in his consciousness was a little brighter. Recalling the situation when Li Yingning disappeared, number 7 finally understood that Li Yingning's consciousness was not trapped in the universe, but in the Xianyuan space. Then inside the seal is probably where Li Yingning was sealed. Because he is often with Wang Feng, number 7 knows almost everything about Wang Feng. Considering that the former Apostle John was once the weapon spirit of Xianyuan sword, it is not difficult for number 7 to make such a judgment. The final result was just as number 7 expected. His self-destruction not only solved Wang Feng's crisis, but also solved the crisis of Li Yingning and Dong Huangtai. Of course, Dong Huangtai of the Vice Universe also played an indispensable role in this battle. If he hadn't used his soul to hold back the evil Dong Huang at the last moment and blocked most of the impact of the explosion, I'm afraid that even if Li Yingning and Dong Huangtai were immortal, their souls would still be damaged. Once the soul is injured, it is basically permanent. Especially for Dong Huangtai, it will not only affect his ability to predict, but even affect his memory. The consequences are not ordinarily serious. However, fortunately, the crisis has passed now. Although 2 people on our side have also died, they still have to go on the road ahead, especially the mess left by the evil Dong Huang, which is what Dong Huangtai is most troubled about now. After understanding Dong Huangtai's concerns, Wang Feng suddenly laughed. He came to Dong Huangtai, looked into Dong Huangtai's eyes and said, "Do you know who these people are?" Dong Huangtai was stunned for a moment, then nodded and said, "Of course. After my soul returned to its original form, I had his complete memories. We were originally the same person." Kindness. Wang Feng nodded and said, "That's good. Give me their list, and leave this matter to me. After you go back, you only need to be responsible for discussing with them how to integrate the entire human race. Do you want to?" Dong Huangtai looked at Wang Feng in astonishment, with unbearable eyes. "But they..." "Nothing but..." Wang Feng suddenly shouted loudly. "Their hands are full of blood. Do you expect them to become Buddhas immediately? Do you want to take them into the Endless Tower? Do you know how many people will be killed? The people they killed before and the blood debt they owed were all caused by you. Now, you still want them to help you bear more blood debts? Do you have to sacrifice all the lives of the human race? Are you willing to let everything be your fault?" Perhaps because of the death of number 7, Wang Feng was a little excited. "Although I know your intentions are good, I still have to tell you that your idea of separating all your negative emotions is simply confusing." Doomsday Special Forces. Author, Huanjing Chengzhu. Chapter 1028. Everyone present was stunned, watching Wang Feng, who was angry at Dong Huangtai. Even Dong Huangtai himself was dumbfounded. As a great prophet of the human race, when had he ever been scolded like this? Especially Wang Feng's last sentence, completely confused. What does completely confused mean? He is a great prophet. A person who can predict the future and guide the country is much higher than the title of think tank, but he actually got the title of completely confused. Even when the evil Dong Huang was here, although Fuxi and Haoshan and others knew that he had problems, they never said this to Dong Huangtai in person. Fortunately, everyone here is from the Hope Empire. If the people of the original star saw Wang Feng, the great prophet who treated them, I am afraid that the human race would have no hope of unification. You're not convinced, are you? Looking at Dong Huangtai's expression, Wang Feng suddenly sneered. You're a great prophet, but you don't even understand this truth? You want to get rid of all your negative emotions, do you think you've become a perfect person? Bullshit. 7 emotions and 6 desires, joys and sorrows, separations and reunions, happiness, anger, sorrow, and happiness, these are all normal emotions that humans have. Without suffering, how can happiness be precious? Without grief, How can you experience the joy of joy? Without anger, how can there be the tragic grandeur on the battlefield? Extreme joy leads to sorrow, and adversity leads to good times. Those who don't know pain, don't know sadness, have no emotions, and can only smile foolishly all day long, you can find them in the mental hospital on our planet. There are plenty of them. Only fools will be happy and carefree every day, because they don't have human emotions at all. Think about your past, and look at you now, a group of murderous, bloodthirsty, bloody guys. You are indecisive and don't know how to deal with them. When you reach the endless road, facing our enemies, if they are weak, would you not kill them and let the human race be wiped out because of the failure of the level? Perfection. This is just a wish of our human race. It does not exist at all. Even if you once thought that a person or a thing was perfect, it was only limited to a certain period of time or a certain scene. After that period of time, you will find that he actually has flaws. The sun moves when it is in the middle of the day, and the moon wanes when it is full. There is nothing perfect in this world. Even the way of heaven is flawed, let alone our human race. Listening to Wang Feng's accusation, Dong Huangtai was like a revelation. He was originally a wise man, otherwise he would not have become a great prophet of the human race. It was just that he was too obsessed with making the human race beautiful before, so he was blinded by a single leaf and got into a dead end. Now that he was scolded by Wang Feng, he was directly awakened by the scolding. It was also because no one in the human race dared to scold him, so this method was used on him, and it was effective. If it was replaced by Li Yingning, Wang Feng might be useless now. Ha ha ha. Dong Huangtai suddenly laughed loudly, stepped forward, patted Wang Feng on the shoulder and said, I can't believe that I, Dong Huangtai, have lived for so many years, but I still don't understand it as well as you do, ha ha ha. It's true that there is no order in learning, and the one who is more accomplished is the teacher. Dong Huang is learning. Now, even Wang Feng couldn't help but be stunned. He was just depressed because of the fall of number 7, and he heard that Dong Huangtai wanted to protect those bloody executioners, so he got angry and started to scold. He originally wanted to try whether he could anger Dong Huangtai, because if he could successfully anger him, it would be regarded as mobilizing his negative emotions back. After all, anger is also one of the 7 deadly sins. But he didn't expect that after he scolded him, Dong Huangtai was not angry, but seemed very happy, which made Wang Feng a little at a loss. Did he succeed or fail? Could it be that Dong Huangtai can only express his anger by laughing because he no longer has the emotion of anger? This is not good news. What Wang Feng didn't know was that after Dong Huangtai's soul returned to his body, he was no longer the Dong Huangtai without any negative emotions, because the evil Dong Huang had occupied this body for too long, so even this body was full of those negative emotions. After Dong Huangtai returned to this body, those negative emotions naturally slowly entered his soul and affected Dong Huangtai, causing him to slowly return to normal and become the original Dong Huangtai. Of course, if Dong Huangtai still wants to get rid of his negative emotions now, he can still do it as long as he separates those negative emotions again, and then splits out a soul, takes those negative emotions, enters Xianyuan space, and lets Wang Feng seal it up. However, let's not talk about Dong Huangtai not thinking so now. Even if he wants to, Wang Feng will never cooperate with him. After Dong Huangtai finally recovered, he did not hesitate any longer. He sorted out the list of people in his memory and handed it to Wang Feng. All the information was on a tablet, including names and appearances, so there was no need to worry that they would find the wrong person. Okay. Leave these people to us, and as for the integration of the human race, it's up to you. You discuss it, and if there are still people who need to be killed, let me know at any time. After Wang Feng took the tablet and looked at it, he said calmly to Dong Huangtai and Duan Lei. Then, he shook his head at Qiu Jian and Xiao Wu and left the room. Watching the three people leaving, no one else followed. They knew what Wang Feng and the others were going to do, but they didn't think about helping. Even Lu Wanting just watched Wang Feng and the others leave in silence. Not a single sound was made. Wang Feng, number 7, Qiu Jian and Xiao Wu are the 4 recognized top masters in the Hope Expeditionary Force. The relationship between them is naturally the best. Now that number 7 has fallen and the culprit has self-destruct, the 3 people were naturally very aggrieved. At this moment, that group of people were pulled out of their memories by Dong Huangtai, and they immediately became the targets of their venting. Okay. Don't worry about them, Dong Huang. Seeing Dong Huangtai still watching Wang Feng and the others leaving, Li Yingning said. You should think about it first. What are you going to do next? Should you say nothing and just pretend that you are still the former Dong Huangtai, or should you tell the human race what happened here? Talk nonsense. Dong Huangtai said angrily. You said that I was sealed by myself for tens of thousands of years, and then when I came out, I was pointed at my nose and scolded by a young boy for a long time. Hearing Dong Huangtai's words, Li Yingning was shocked, because after his soul was sent into the sealed space by the Apostle John, Li Yingning and Dong Huangtai had been chatting for more than 10 years, so he would treat Dong Huangtai. Dong Huangtai is so familiar. But over the past 10 years, no matter what the content of their chats was, Dong Huangtai's words were always tepid, as warm as boiling water, and sometimes they could make Li Yingning angry to death. So this was the first time Li Yingning heard Dong Huangtai's angry tone just now? After staying for a long time, Li Yingning nodded and said. Dong Huang, Xiao Feng is right, you are a normal person only when you are like this. You could drive me crazy before. Perhaps because he has been sealed for more than 10 years, Li Yingning talks more now than before. While these 2 bosses were chatting, others naturally did not dare to interrupt randomly. Even the usually noisy Martian trio turned into 3 good babies, standing there obediently and asking questions. Okay. Don't talk about this. Dong Huangtai waved his hand, then looked at Duan Lei and Fuxi. Let's talk about it. What do you think is the best way for us to integrate the human race next? Dong Huangtai opened his mouth, and the crowd finally became active. Everyone began to discuss the development direction of the human race in the next 10 years, because now their goal is very clear, which is to prepare for the endless road. Therefore, there were not many disputes. As for Dong Huangtai's own problems, everyone felt that it was better not to announce it at all. It was better to keep everything as usual and just pretend that Dong Huangtai had not changed at all. If you speak out, some changes may occur. As for the promise that the evil Eastern Emperor made to some high-level human beings, this will have to be discussed slowly after the Eastern Emperor Tai sorted out his memories, but at least integrating the human race first should not be difficult. After Dong Huangtai returned, he didn't even need to bother to explain. As long as Wang Feng brought out some monster corpses from the land of divine punishment for him to take back, those senior officials who supported Dong Huangtai would probably have to surrender. After all, their own strength had improved. That's the most important thing. After entering the endless road, everyone needs to rely on their own strength, because on the chaotic battlefield, it is impossible to have someone by your side to protect you all the time. In addition, Dong Huangtai is also mediating in the middle, and Fuxi and Haoshan will go back with him. With these 3 giants of the human race joining forces, is there anything else in the human race that they cannot solve? Of course, after they return there, the first thing they have to solve is the order of the human race. The human race over there cannot continue to be in such chaos, especially those unscrupulous new humans, they must be curbed. However, while Dong Huangtai and Fuxi were discussing how to restore order to the human race over there, Wang Feng, Qiu Jian, and Xiao Wu started a bloody storm among the new humans of the primordial star. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Doomsday Special Forces. Author, Huanjing Chengzhu. Chapter 1029. The list given by Dong Huangtai is all the people of the original star, that is, those who are called new humans by the people on the mother star. This army secretly cultivated by Dong Huangtai and only obeyed his orders, with a total number of more than 12,000 people, and all of them were strong men with strength above level 7. After seeing the information of these people, Wang Feng hated them secretly. Originally, these people were able to help the Wuji Road because of Dong Huangtai's fantasy, but they became targets that must be killed. After a long period of brainwashing by the evil Dong Huang, these people have become bloodthirsty killers. It is quite difficult to reform them back, and even if they are reformed, they must always be on guard against their betrayal. What's more, how can Wang Feng and his team have so much time now? Dong Huangtai has just returned, and the human race is about to be integrated. Wang Feng and his team still have a lot of things to do. Of course, it is impossible to waste time and experience on these guys who are likely to stab them in the back. Therefore, after leaving the room, Wang Feng directly took out a small fighter plane, transmitted the information of those people to the network of the mother planet, and listed the crimes they had committed before. Then he published his life below, on behalf of mankind, and sentenced them to death. Wang Feng's action was intentional. One was to tell the human race that the killing they were about to carry out was for a reason. Otherwise, if Wang Feng and his team started killing people directly, it would probably cause panic among the human race, and it would affect Dong Huangtai and his team's plan to integrate all humans together. In particular, these people were the confidants of the evil Dong Huang and only obeyed his orders. Therefore, the evil Dong Huang had great trust in them, and naturally placed them all in important positions among the human race's high-level officials. Once Wang Feng and his team completed their mission, the assassination of up to 12,000 high-level human race officials would definitely cause an uproar among the human race, making everyone feel insecure. Another point is that Wang Feng intends to help Dong Huangtai make a choice. Wang Feng knows that Dong Huangtai will probably conceal the fact that he was sealed, pretend that nothing happened, and go back to preside over the human race. Although this can avoid new problems, Wang Feng doesn't think so. Because the contradictions and suspicions between Dong Huangtai and Fuxi before, I'm afraid that all the high-level people of the human race have seen it clearly. Just kidding, those who can get to the top of the human race are all very shrewd old foxes. If they can't even see this, they can't climb to such a high position. However, it is related to the unification of the human race, so even if they see it, no one has the courage to say it directly. Even in secret, they dare not discuss it casually. If these two people suddenly reconcile inexplicably and return to the human race to preside over major events together, it will make those high-level people of the human race suspicious. After all, two enemies who have been enemies for more than 100,000 years suddenly become close. If the style changes too quickly, it will certainly cause suspicion. As the saying goes, people's words are scary. If you let those guys guess blindly, who knows how many versions will appear. This will only make things more and more chaotic. If this situation really happens, even if Dong Huangtai tells the truth again and again, it is estimated that not many people will believe it. After all, that thing is too bizarre. He sealed half of his soul for more than 100,000 years, and then killed himself. Although it is said that the biggest enemy in life is oneself, it is not played like this, right? So Wang Feng felt that instead of hiding it, it would be better to be straightforward and say what you want to say. This should be more effective. At least the human race will know that these two giants, the Great Prophet and the human Emperor, have truly let go of their past grudges, and of course they will be relieved to integrate all the human race together. In fact, Wang Feng's method is indeed a more reliable method, but because Dong Huangtai regained his negative emotions, although he was considered to be back to normal, he also showed vanity. He is a great prophet, but he has been sealed for more than 10 years. Although it is difficult for others to do this, it is not something worth showing off anyway, right? As for Dong Huangtai's reputation, Du Enlai and others certainly cannot force him. Therefore, after Dong Huangtai proposed not to disclose it, no one else had any different opinions. Only Wang Feng was fearless and directly exposed the matter, leaving Dong Huangtai no way to conceal it. The matter has been exposed. Is it useful to cover it up? However, Wang Feng did not say it openly. He just exposed the crimes of those people and announced that he would start to ask for blood debts from these people. As for who secretly cultivated them, he did not mention it. But as long as a discerning person sees the names of those people, he will naturally think of who promoted them. Therefore, the mastermind behind the scenes is naturally ready to be revealed. Dong Huangtai was sold out by Wang Feng this time, without even a bone residue or fingernail left. After releasing the information, Wang Feng and his team began to act. Wang Feng first drove a fighter plane to the continent where the Renaissance Alliance was located, then put away the fighter plane. After the three of them had assigned their own targets, they began to act separately. Because almost all of these people have a certain status in the Renaissance Alliance, there are nearly 10,000 of the more than 12,000 people at the Renaissance Alliance headquarters, which greatly facilitated Wang Feng and his team. As for the message sent by Wang Feng and others, because the content was too shocking, it triggered a frenzy as soon as it was sent out. People speculated whether this message was true or false. Everyone was shocked when they saw the long names on the list and the big, blood red sign at the end. Later, when the people on the list began to be assassinated one after another, the human race finally understood that no matter whether the crimes listed in the message were real or forged, in short, at least one word in the message was it's absolutely true, kill. At this time, because it was too boring to listen to the discussion between Du Enlai and Dong Huangtai, but they did not dare to leave first, the Mars trio secretly gathered together to browse the website. They had already seen this post as soon as it was posted. The click-through rate skyrocketed. Martian didn't care that the big guys were in a meeting, he jumped up in shock and shouted loudly. Brother Feng and the others have already started. Hearing Xing Xing's words, Du Enlai and the others didn't pay attention, because they had known for a long time that Wang Feng took Xiu Jian and Xiao Wu out just to kill people, and in a place like their home planet where the internet is developed, they wanted to know the news is not difficult. Du Enlai was about to tell Xing Xing to keep his voice down so as not to affect them, but he found that Xing Xing was walking towards him with a strange expression, and even made a move to call Du Enlai to the tablet in his hand to let him take a look. Du Enlai suddenly felt that things were not as simple as he imagined. Although this guy, Martian, usually made jokes and was not good at anything, at least they were able to restrain themselves at critical times. Especially now that Li Yingning is here, these three boys are so emboldened that they would never dare to play a prank at this time. In the eyes of these Hope Expeditionary Forces, Li Yingning was even more terrifying than all the other senior officials put together. Taking the tablet handed over by Xing Xing, Du Enlai saw the word kill at first glance. However, this did not attract his attention, so Du Enlai slid the screen upward twice. Soon, the full text of the message was displayed. Du Enlai looked at it carefully. As one of the people who is most familiar with Wang Feng, Du Enlai understood Wang Feng's meaning almost instantly. After thinking for a while, Du Enlai nodded lightly, and then said softly, "You really dare to do it, and you've already started killing me first and then showing off. What's going on?" Li Yingning frowned and asked when he saw Du Enlai's expression. "See for yourselves." Du Enlai gave a wry smile and then handed the tablet over. Although Du Enlai also thought that Wang Feng's move was correct and beautiful, but now that Dong Huangtai was next to him, he did not dare to show his happiness. "Come out like this, so as not to bring disaster to Chiu. I think the plan we made before seems to need to be slightly modified. After handing the tablet to Li Yingning, Du Enlai said softly. After Li Yingning read the message sent by Wang Feng, he was silent for a moment, and then his expression looked a little strange, and he threw the tablet directly to Dong Huangtai. After reading the message sent by Wang Feng, Dong Huangtai felt veins pounding on his head. Is this kid trying to kill me? How can I hide what happened before? Senior Dong Huang. Du Enlai stood up at this time and smiled at Dong Huangtai. Actually, I think the madman's method is quite good. At least it can prevent those who came here from the original star from guessing the reasons for the sudden reconciliation between the third master and Senior Dong Huang. Du Enlai knew Wang Feng's intention and naturally guessed the reason, so he helped Wang Feng explain. Oh. This kid. I will die in his hands sooner or later. Dong Huangtai shook his head and sighed. Forget it. He's been exposed anyway, so let's just explain the cause and effect directly. Although it's a bit troublesome, it can be regarded as a complete solution at once. Then let's set off, shall we? I'll go with you too. Li Yingning said to Dong Huangtai. Wait. It'll take a few days. Dong Huangtai smiled and said. Now, it's not the time yet. Doomsday Special Forces. Author, Huanjing Chengzhu. Chapter 1030. In the following days, there was a huge turmoil on the mother planet. The more than 10,000 new humans from the original star on the list began to die one after another, and the death toll was increasing rapidly every day. The news of No. 7's death was not spread, because only the core members of the Hope Base knew the secret that he was a devourer, and Li Yingning now appeared as number 7. Therefore, except for the people in that room at the time, no one knew that number 7 had actually fallen. And Wang Feng and the others could only vent their depression on those guys with blood on their hands. The death of number 7 was not spread, but there was another explosive news on the mother planet, that is, Dong Huangtai, the great prophet of the human race, had his soul split into two souls, one good and one evil, more than 100,000 years ago. During these hundreds of thousands of years, it was the evil soul that controlled Dong Huangtai's body, and the human leaders who were killed were his confidants who were cultivated and promoted by him. He was ready to unify the human race with them and make the entire human race become cannon fodder for Dong Huangtai to reach the top of the endless tower. As soon as the news came out, it caused an uproar. At first, because this news was only spread from the internet, although the people on the list were assassinated one after another shortly after the news was sent out, most of the human race, especially the new humans from the original star, still did not believe it at all. Dong Huangtai was their great prophet, how could he be the embodiment of evil? Because Wang Feng, Xiao Wu, and Qiu Jian did not cover their faces when clearing the people on the list, many people recognized the three of them and knew that the three perpetrators were from the Hope Empire. Therefore, the top leaders of the Renaissance Alliance began to contact Dong Huangtai urgently while denouncing the Hope Empire, asking it to stop killing members of the Renaissance Alliance immediately, otherwise they would take retaliatory actions. Wang Feng and his men ignored them and continued their killing. Moreover, the 5 space battleships of the Hope Empire, 4 human space battleships including Yanhuang, and the space battleship Hope of the Space Ghost Clan, were all on alert above the Hope Empire and started the war mode. At this time, Dong Huangtai had not returned to the Renaissance Alliance, so although they also had 3 space battleships, they could not use them, because in order to use these 3 space battleships, they had to open the warehouse where they were parked, and this warehouse could only be opened by Dong Huangtai. At this critical moment, Dong Huangtai could not be contacted at all. According to the guards around him, the great prophet had an emergency to deal with and could not be separated for the time being. Therefore, facing the absolute advantage of the Hope Empire, the Renaissance Alliance chose to admit defeat. Of course, it was only an action to admit defeat. The verbal condemnation and protests have never been able to survive. All the big hats such as destroying the unity of the human race and disrupting the order of the human race were all put on the Hope Empire. However, the Hope Empire did not engage in a war of words with them. During this killing, Wang Feng and his team only released that message, announced the crimes of those people, and claimed responsibility for the incident. After that, there was no sound. And those people on the list were dying one after another. Whether they hid or used a large number of troops to protect themselves, it was completely useless. The three guys who claimed to be executors could easily find and end their lives. With their real information, plus the detection system of the space battleship, on this planet, they could not escape the eyes of Wang Feng and his team. After about a week, more than 12,000 people on the list were finally killed or injured, and Dong Huangtai finally returned to the headquarters of the Renaissance Alliance at this time and ordered a public meeting of the whole clan. The so-called open meeting of the whole race is held on the huge square in front of the headquarters of the Renaissance Alliance. All human races can participate and it is broadcast live around the world. Generally speaking, this kind of meeting will only be held when something happens that is enough to affect the historical process of the human race. When the venue was ready, Dong Huangtai appeared. He appeared with the human emperor Fuxi, and there was a mysterious man beside him. Some of the mother planet human races who were familiar with the Hope Empire recognized that this guy seemed to be a member of the Hope Empire. He seemed to be called Number 7. But this guy with a name similar to a bodyguard seemed to be very familiar with Dong Huangtai, and he was walking side by side with Dong Huangtai, and even Fuxi was following behind them. Haoshan and others followed behind Fuxi, and there were also Duan Lei and Lu Feng from the Hope Empire, and even Gao's Hixing was among them. A group of people appeared in front of everyone in a mighty manner. Just when everyone was guessing what was special about this mysterious man, Dong Huangtai, who stepped onto the rostrum of the square, directly began to announce a series of news that made them feel extremely shocked. First of all, Dong Huangtai personally confirmed the authenticity of the information that had appeared on the internet before. He explained in detail that because he wanted to get rid of the negative emotions in his soul was split, and this half of his soul was imprisoned for more than 100,000 years. He just broke free today and became a complete soul again. As for the people who saved him, it was Wang Feng and the mysterious man standing behind him. Since both of them would be pushed out and into the public's view, Dong Huangtai simply gave the credit to them. And those killed by Wang Feng and his men were indeed deserving of death, so Wang Feng and his men's actions were correct, and he entrusted them with the task. Then Dong Huangtai announced that because he had done countless wrong things in the past 100,000 years and felt guilty towards the human race, he would hand over all his rights in the human race. In the future, the human race would be headed by the Emperor Fuxi. Dong Huangtai did not directly push Wang Feng out, because Wang Feng had no qualifications and no reputation, and he was just a young man in his early 30s, especially since he had just killed the high-level officials of the Renaissance Alliance. Even though Dong Huangtai had said that he had entrusted them with the task, it was still impossible for the human race of the primitive star to accept his leadership all at once. Anyway, there is basically no difference between Fuxi's leadership and his leadership, and as the only remaining king among the three emperors of the human race, Fuxi has enough prestige to lead the human race, so Dong Huangtai will push Fuxi out. Things will be even simpler afterwards. After Dong Huangtai announced his resignation, Fuxi, who succeeded him, directly issued a declaration to take over the position of the supreme leader of the human race and announce the future plans of the human race. Fuxi first explained the matter of the endless road in detail, including what kind of environment and enemies they would face, as well as the rules for determining failure, and the punishment after failure. After knowing the rules and the results of failure, the human race panicked again, especially the natives on the mother planet. Most of them are ordinary people. Even if they are soldiers, they may not be able to exert much combat effectiveness in that environment. Fortunately, the judgment of failure is calculated according to the proportion of casualties, so at least they don't have to worry about being used as cannon fodder. After that, Fuchsie announced that from now on, the human race will enter the stage of full preparation for war, and will unite with the Empire of Hope. All human races will be integrated together without any camps. And, at this critical moment, if anyone deliberately instigates and destroys the unity of the human race, once discovered, they will be directly executed and will never be tolerated. Although the human race of the original star still has grudges against the Empire of Hope, they don't care so much when they think of the horror of the endless road. After all, if they fail, all human races, no matter which country or camp you are from, will be wiped out. Therefore, no one opposes Fuchsie's decision. Then, Fuchsie announced that the mysterious man behind him would serve as the chief military instructor of the human race. He has the right to mobilize all human combat units, and all human races will receive his training to prepare for the endless road. Fuchsie did not introduce the name of the mysterious man, but just asked everyone to call him instructor. Therefore, from then on, among the human race, the title of instructor became the exclusive term for that mysterious man. This is Li Yingning's request, because his body is now No 7's, his soul is his own, and Li Yingning does not want to change back to his former image, although this is an easy thing for the Devourer. No 7's last wish before his death was for Li Yingning to continue the legacy of the Devourer, but Li Yingning did not want to become the mother nest and let the Devourer race appear again in this world. Therefore, Li Yingning chose to keep No 7's image forever, which was also a disguised fulfillment of No 7's wish, because in this way, in a sense, number 7 is not really dead, especially now that Li Yingning still has a few pieces of No 7's soul fragments. Since number 7 is still then naturally there should be no last wish, and when this image, even Li Yingning can't maintain it, then it may be that Li Yingning has also fallen, and since he has died, then No 7's last wish naturally has nothing to do with him. This idea is a bit self-deceptive, but Li Yingning can only think of this way to comfort himself at present. The people on the mother planet had no objection to Fuchsie's appointment, since they were not combat members anyway. However, the human race on the original planet was in an uproar. Military power, no matter which race it was of primary importance. Now it was handed over to such an unknown guy? I object. A voice sounded from below.